Well, we showed the teaser for episode 1 of season 2, which was exciting, I think. And I cut together like a really cool highlight reel from season 1, which I think just leaked online. I don't think we're going to show anybody else the teaser because it wasn't done. The effects that still had to go in, sound design still hadn't been finished, so we just really snuck it out there for the Comic-Con people. But there was probably some spoilers. I got like beat up by the writers that were in the audience that are on my staff for a couple things that I said.
So is anyone saying?
Yeah, I think we get too much credit, frankly, for like killing characters. We didn't really kill that many important characters last year. We killed Wells, but violence is, we treat violence in a real way, so if somebody gets shot, you know that it's going to leave a mark. It's going to be a while until they're, if ever, fully recovered from it, and it'll probably have some kind of psychic scars also that are, Devin got speared in the pilot, and he's still suffering from that emotionally. So, that said, this year, no one's safe. I feel like we didn't get enough credit last year. We got too much credit last year, so this year I need to earn it.
How far in advance do you want a character if they are? Do they know? Like, should the cast be worried for season 2?
I'm a nice guy, so if we're going to do something like that, we would talk to the person as long as, the whole idea is to not let it leak, So if something like that were in my mind, not saying that it is, but in terms of spoilers in general, it's like, I feel like such a jerk sometimes not answering questions that I want to answer, because I'm only doing that because I know if I was a fan of the show and I read online, oh, this guy's going to live or that girl's going to live, I'd be like, okay, so it happens and I'm not going to be surprised if I watch it. I want to experience the show, and I really want to try to preserve that for the people that are the most diehard. A couple million people watch the show, millions of people watch the show, and most of them aren't going to like read online that this character lived or this character died. The people that are going to read that are the real diehard fans of the show. So those are the people that I want to really protect their experience as much as possible.
Will the arc play a major role in season 2?
No. The arc is sadly almost done. Almost done.
I was going to say, are we going to get, one of the things I really liked about season 1 was these judgments about the characters at the very beginning, and then there's flashbacks and little add-ins that kind of help us understand, who they were before. So are there going to be any other flashbacks, or are there any characters that we're going to get to know better in season 2 that we really didn't?
Well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, I just think by, the continuation of the storyline as it's currently going will help us understand these people more. But I hear what you're saying. I think that flashbacks are a tool that we have, that we've used in the show before, and something we could go to again. I think that this particularly effective in episode 6 because where Bellamy, everybody hated him. He was such a douchebag and was selfish. And then episode 6 told us who he was, and then after that you kind of like him, and that was really, I think, key for that character's development last year. I'm not sure that anybody else is really misunderstood to the level of like needing okay, everybody, here's what the story is. But there's certain people like Murphy who I feel like on some level was underserved as a character last year. He was just purely like a douchebag, and this year we're going to start to peel the layers and understand him and figure out that there's a reason why he's the way he is, and maybe some people when they hear that story, not a flashback, but will sympathize. They can never trust him, but maybe they can understand him. That's the goal of it.
With such a big ensemble of interesting characters, how do you decide who's going to be featured?
It's hard. I mean, one of the hardest things is, we added 2 characters that are series regulars this year, Lindsay and Ricky, Lincoln and Raven, and so it even gets spread a little thinner. And the show that my favorite show currently is Game of Thrones. I say this a lot, but there are storylines in that show that they don't visit in every episode, and that's how you do it. It's a real heavy episode for Daenerys this week, and so then she's gone next week, I'm not quite sure how their actors' deals are structured. Obviously, they must be structured in a way that they don't have to work in every episode. We have similar deals with our cast so that we can not, because then you have to, like, this is inside baseball, then you got to pay them in an episode that they're not in, and that becomes, cost prohibitive, so it's bad producing. And so the deals are structured in a way where we can take a down story from certain characters, and then other characters are all episodes, and we'll see them.
Is there one that in particular you just enjoy writing?
I love all these characters, honestly. There's nobody that I don't love writing for. I particularly love writing for Eliza as an actress because she's so good. Like, anything I write, she's just like, she shows me what it really means. I think Raven is a really fun character to write. She's always got, like, the right thing to say, and she's certainly, from a plot perspective, is really, like, MacGyver-esque. She can, like, build things and do things, and that's always helpful when you're trying to figure out how to get out of the situation. But I like them all, I really do.
How far into season 2 will we find out the room that Clark and them were in the final episode? How far into season 2 will we find out what that's all about?
2 seconds. We pick up right that the clip that we just showed is I can talk about the clip now. So it's basically, it picks up in the White Room. We're seeing her through the surveillance camera footage. She's noticing that her father's watch is missing. She's still confused as to where she is. She's looking at that painting on the wall and saying, what the fuck was that? Why is that here? She then, she's going to miss the best part. She then looks through the window and sees a person in a hazmat suit walk by, and it's a scary moment. And then she looks notices that Monty's room, Monty was in that room, is empty. She freaks out, where's Monty? She grabs something, she breaks this surveillance camera, she breaks the window, she reaches through the window to unlock the door, and on the way out she rips her arm open so she's like drip blood everywhere. And then she goes out into the hallway and she picks up a piece of glass and she takes the person in the hazmat suit hostage, rips off the thing, and the girl's like freaking out, oh my god, I can't believe it, I'm gonna be contaminated. And then Clark takes her hostage and says, take me to my friend now, or I'm gonna slice your throat. We really get to see what a badass Clark has become. Like, she's a warrior. She overcomes this girl completely, just totally decimates her emotionally. And then the teaser that I cut together ends with, now when it's ultimately on the air, we'll see she walks down and the elevator opens and they walk out into Mount Weather proper. We get to reveal what is in Mount Weather for real. But I stopped short today of showing what she sees, and we end on her face. So it's a teaser, really a teaser. But then anyway, so you'll understand, like, when you see what she sees, which nobody has seen yet, you'll understand about a lot more about her. Yeah.
So it ended up online. What did they do today? After?
I believe Warner Brothers probably did a deal or something with TV Guide, and that TV Guide was resaved because not the clip, just the what do you call it? The highlight reel. I cut together a highlight reel, and then at the end of the highlight reel it said, and now a Comic-Con exclusive footage from season 2. That's not been released because it wasn't done. It was very raw. I was almost like, oh. So I really showed this stuff. But it was cool, so I did.
Season 1 rather, was split between Matthew Space and
yeah.
Season 2 it just seems like you left out season 1 so divided. Should we expect to see kind of segments?
Yeah, everybody's scattered. One of the things that the season is about is, figuring out ways to get back to their people, back together. Reunions are a key storyline. Obviously, Clark's mom, Abby's on the ground now, so whether that reunion happens or not, they're a lot closer together, both of them being on Earth. So, yeah, we're going to be, again, it's a very sort of multiple stories unfolding together that are hopefully converging. That's kind of what the season feels like. In terms of not having the arc anymore, I mean, one of the things I loved about the show is that we had the spaceship. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss the space element of the show. But we have Mount Weather, so Mount Weather feels a lot like an underground spaceship. So we'll have a lot of sort of like, we'll have a similar cutting device where we can cut from like the wild, untamed Earth and this like claustrophobic environment in Mount Weather, which is really what the ship was last year. So feels like the same show. It's just a very different place that we're going.
Will we ever see a flashback pre-arc of what the world conditions were like?
On the ground? I mean, like, to see the apocalypse unfold? Maybe. I mean, I think that would be fascinating. It's not in the cards for season 2 right now. We may eventually see what happened up in space when the 12 space stations came together. There's a story I'm dying to tell. It's a big episode, expensive. Big equals expensive. So I'm not sure, yet when it's going to happen. But it's something I'd like to do. Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks.